Have you ever wanted someone else's job so badly, only to realize later they were carrying a burden you never understood? But to see why, we have to start a little earlier. There was once a wise king named King Edward. Among everyone in his royal court, one man stood out above the rest. His name was Benjamin. Benjamin wasn't the richest man in the kingdom. He wasn't the strongest either. But whenever the kingdom faced a difficult problem, people knew one thing: Benjamin would find an answer. That was exactly why the king trusted him more than anyone else. Not everyone liked that. Several ministers quietly envied Benjamin's position. They smiled when he walked by, but behind closed doors they complained that he received too much praise. The most jealous of them all was the king's own brother-in-law. He convinced himself that Benjamin wasn't any smarter than he was. In his mind, Benjamin had simply been lucky. So, one day, he asked King Edward to remove Benjamin and appoint him as the new chief minister instead. Word of the request eventually reached Benjamin. He could have defended himself. He could have argued. Instead, he did something no one expected. Before the king made any decision, Benjamin respectfully offered his resignation. King Edward accepted it without saying much, but privately he wanted to learn something. Had the new minister really earned the position, or had he only wanted the title? The next morning, the king called his new chief minister into the palace. On the table were 3 small bags, each filled with 100 gold coins, 300 coins in total. The king slid them across the table and gave him an unusual assignment. I want you to spend the first 100 coins in a way that returns them to me during my lifetime. Spend the second 100 so their reward reaches me in the next life. And spend the last 100 so they benefit me neither in this life nor the next. Then the king simply smiled. You have until tomorrow. The new minister froze. At first, he thought there had to be a trick, but the more he thought about it, the less sense it made. He spent the entire day trying to solve the puzzle. That night, he barely slept. Every answer created another problem. By morning, he looked completely defeated. His wife noticed the worry on his face. After listening to the challenge, she quietly said, "If anyone can solve this, it's Benjamin." Reluctantly, the minister didn't want to hear that name. After everything he had done, asking Benjamin for help was the last thing he wanted. Reflectively, but pride doesn't solve impossible problems. So, swallowing his ego, he went to Benjamin's house. Benjamin welcomed him inside, as if nothing had ever happened. There was no anger, no sarcasm, no mention of the promotion. The minister explained everything and placed the 3 bags of gold on the table. Benjamin listened carefully. Then he smiled. "Leave the coins with me. I'll take care of the rest." The minister was stunned. Why would the man he tried to replace help him? But Benjamin asked for nothing in return. The next morning, Benjamin walked through the city carrying the 3 bags. Before long, he came across a wealthy merchant celebrating his son's wedding. The streets were filled with music, flowers, and happy guests. Benjamin approached the merchant, handed him the first bag of 100 gold coins, and said, "King Edward sends his congratulations and this wedding gift for your family." The merchant was deeply honored. Receiving a gift from the king meant everything to him. To show his gratitude, he sent several valuable gifts back to King Edward, worth far more than the 100 coins he had received. Benjamin smiled and continued walking. Later that day, he entered one of the poorest neighborhoods in the kingdom. Many families there struggled to buy enough food. Some children didn't even have proper clothes. Benjamin used the second 100 gold coins to purchase bread, warm clothing, blankets, and other necessities. Everything was distributed in King Edward's name. No one could repay the king, but their heartfelt gratitude was worth far more than money. Simply, by evening, Benjamin still had one bag left. With the final 100 gold coins, he attended a public festival filled with music, dancing, and entertainment. He spent every last coin there. By sunset, nothing remained. The following morning, Benjamin entered the royal court carrying nothing at all. King Edward looked at him. "Benjamin, those coins were given to my new minister. How did they end up with you?" Benjamin bowed. "Your Majesty, your new minister asked me for help." The entire courtroom became silent. Then Benjamin explained each decision. "The first 100 coins were given to a wealthy merchant as your wedding gift. In return, he sent valuable presents back to you, so those coins returned to you in this lifetime. The second 100 were spent feeding and clothing the poor. That reward isn't something anyone can hold today, but kindness is never truly lost. If there is another life, those gifts will find you there. And the final 100, they were spent on entertainment. The joy lasted only for a few hours. Nothing remained after it ended, so those coins returned to you neither here nor in the next life."
The room stayed quiet, not because the answer was complicated, because it was so simple. King Edward slowly smiled. He had received exactly the answer he was looking for. Then everyone's attention turned toward the new minister. He lowered his head. For the first time, he understood something that jealousy had hidden from him. He had believed the position made Benjamin valuable. Now he realized Benjamin's wisdom was what made the position valuable. Without another word, he stepped forward and offered his resignation.
King Edward accepted it. Then he invited Benjamin to return as chief minister. Benjamin accepted, not with pride, but with the same quiet humility he had always carried. And the court never forgot what happened that day. Because sometimes, the hardest part isn't getting someone else's place, it's carrying the responsibility that comes with it. Titles can be handed to anyone. Wisdom has to be earned.